Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies. Let me first start of all by thanking the International Labour Organization and the Belgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And also without the support of the ILO Brussels office and the colleagues of the Development Cooperation, we wouldn't have been able to organize a conference such as this. Now, the ultimate objective of this conference is not about our ministry, nor it is about the concerning international organizations, strategies or concepts. It's about 5 billion people. 5 billion people, as Minister De Blok and Mr. Bernd already mentioned, that are deprived of proper social protection. How is it possible that almost 67 years after the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the universal right on social protection is still so far from being achieved? And this is what this conference in one sentence is about. How can inclusion in the post-2015 agenda of social protection help us solve this and remedy other unacceptable situations? One of the new aspects in comparison with the NBG agenda is that the post-2015 agenda is a universal agenda, applicable on developed and developing countries. And therefore, today, we are happy to bring together more than 40 nationalities, of which almost half are from outside the European Union. We have reunited people from all 7 continents except the Antarctic. Happy because universalism is one of our key starting points of this conference. So, social protection is about protecting people, protecting them throughout the life cycle against all sorts of risks, whether you fall off a ladder at work, whether you want to benefit of a well-deserved pension after decades of work, when you suffer from illness or are giving birth, everyone in need should be able to benefit from the protecting wings of solidarity. Some countries already have reached a considerable level of solidarity. Some today are still struggling to maintain it, or even more countries simply haven't got any or have got insufficient social protection systems. We are convinced of the important role that social protection has to play in the post-2015 agenda, not just in itself, but also as a means to achieve progress and other goals and targets. By its nature, social protection is linked to different goals and targets, like tackling poverty and inequality, ensuring healthy lives and well-being at all ages, promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth, build up resilience towards economic, social and environmental shocks, achieve gender equality and promote peaceful and inclusive societies. Social protection also contributes to the strengthening of human rights for all and to the inclusion of vulnerable groups such as persons with disabilities. Let us elaborate a bit on our program. First, Mrs. Frankine, permanent representative of Belgium at the United Nations in New York, will give us a state of the play of the post-2015 agenda from a UN New York perspective. Then we'll have a first panel. We'll convene on if and why we need to integrate social protection in the post-2015 agenda. The morning session is about illogical math, about why 1 + 1 can be more than just 2, or why in any case we should avoid it being less than 2. It's about how social protection is linked to other goals and targets and why social protection we are talking about, and which social protection we are talking about. Is it just a poverty reduction mechanism? Or is it something more? Should it be for the happy few, unhappy few, or truly for all? How do you place this in a universal context where it is clear that there is no one-size-fits-all solution? During the past decades, our ministry has elaborated its own views hereupon, but today it's about hearing out some of the most distinguished and most experienced experts from all over the world. We then have the afternoon session, which is basically about how we can achieve the implementation of social protection through and in the post-2015 agenda. Luckily, we do not start from scratch. With the approval of Recommendation 202 in 2012, governments and social partners at the 101st International Labour Conference, a comprehensive social protection framework has been completed. Countries should build up a national social protection floor, which gives the basic guarantees of universal healthcare and income security when subject to life's risks. They can then gradually reinforce their social protection system towards the guarantees of the ILO Convention 102 on the minimum standards of social security and beyond. This framework may serve as a basis for implementation of social protection throughout the world. Our first afternoon panel gives us the honor of hearing the views of ILO Director General Guy Ryder, UNDP Administrator Helen Clark, and Belgian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Development Cooperation, Alexander De Croo, on the main challenges ahead of us. We'll then have a second expert panel of the day, which will elaborate further on the challenges and look how to put social protection in practice. The last panel of the day will discuss the role of social partners and civil society in ensuring a wide support base before Professor Olivier de Schutter will draw up some final reflection. In all these discussions, the central question will be how to implement social protection in the post-2015 agenda. Where do we put the level of ambition? How do we actively link it to other goals and targets? Where can we use innovation? What's the impact of demographic challenges? Do we have the necessary data and indicators to monitor the achievements? Also, the implementation of social protection itself will be addressed today. How do you finance those systems? Where do you find the means if 90% of your population is working in the informal sector? What are the key components of an effective and efficient social protection system? And which role should play social partners and civil society? Ladies and gentlemen, we do not organize this conference to convince the already convinced of the importance of social protection. We organize it to reinforce the business case for social protection, to strengthen the arguments in favor of it, and identifying the factors that play a vital role to bring social protection systems to their full effective and efficient force. Altogether, we need to convince the unconvinced. Of course, there are and will be disagreements on how to set up social protection systems, how to finance them, or even its primary goals. But this isn't so strange. We simply live in different countries which face different challenges. If the post-2015 agenda is to be a truly integrated and transformative agenda, we have to face the mirror. Because change will not come by words on a paper, but by action of every single individual. Integration is not about having a conference with predominantly male speakers or speakers with more or less the same views. We did not address the gender equality issue today, but let me mention you that almost half of our speakers are women, including our moderator, Ms. Jackie Davis. Integration is also about setting up social protection systems so that at least they don't harm the environment. Here we try to take into account by providing video conference feed so that people can still watch it after the conference without having to fly in. We're far from perfect, we know, and so any comments for improvement can definitely be sent to me or my team. Small examples as these were merely intended as how to show that with minor actions we can also achieve so much more than with many words. We collectively need to change. And to accomplish this, collaboration will be necessary. Due to its multidimensional and interlinked nature, collaboration and looking for synergies is especially important for the successful implementation of social protection. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, the time is now. The momentum is there and the time is right to get things moving. But above all, interinstitutional differences or various opinions of countries, policymakers or experts, let us not forget the end goal of this theme, to improve the lives of so many people and guaranteeing a better future for the next generation. I would like to thank you for your attention and participation, and we hope you will find this a very, very productive day. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.